welcome to another year of Red Raider football. We're at Haywood Stadium. Red Eder Field has this evening the top-ranked Baylor Red Raiders taking on the War Eagles of Gray Collegiate Academy, a school out of West Columbia, South Carolina. Again this year, Jim Reynolds, Craig Cecil here to bring you Baylor football. Glad we're here. If you don't know by now, we've had a little bit of a lightning delay. So game obviously was supposed to start 1 minute ago. I think we're on the clock of about 15 minutes from right now, so there'll be a little bit of a shortened pregame warm-up for both these teams. But we'll get underway somewhere around 7:45, maybe a little bit late. But as you can see, both teams are on the field right now. The headmaster is here as well, the head of school, if you will, Chris Angel, kind of leading the cheers in the student section right there. Jim Reynolds and Craig Cecil are here. Let's go back and remember just a year ago, this is our first broadcast, so we're glad to be here. Baylor comes up 8 points short from a state championship, losing that title game, but gone are some of those stalwarts from last year's team. Whit Muschamp and Amari Jefferson and Max LeBlanc and the White brothers and Cooper Cowan and all them. So enter this year, and as you take a look at the polls, Baylor ranked number 1 in the state of Tennessee in 2 different polls this week. In the Associated Press Division II AAA poll, Baylor 1, Macaulay 2. I think that will be a reoccurring phrase all season long. MBA is number 3, followed by Ensworth and Brentwood Academy. And in the Max Prex poll in the state of Tennessee, Baylor 1, Macaulay 2, Murfreesboro, Oakland, CPA, Knox Bearden all in the top 10. So Baylor, a lot of things expected for them this year. Great run last year. Big expectations again this year, Craig.
As you said, 8 points short, and they lost all those Division I players. But, yeah, the expectations remain, and so does, Jim, quite a bit of talent, as we saw just last week when they played. They got to avenge a home loss last year to Rabun Gap.
Last year, lost to Rabun Gap. Last week, claimed the victory, and it was a nice – teams in the early part of the season are looking for an identity, right?
Yes.
And Baylor really feels like they took a step forward. I had my game day chat with Coach Eric Kimmery earlier today, and he said, we went a long way. And he said, our philosophy was go 0-1. Baylor, of course, was behind 0. David Gabrielle Georges, number 1, Shakai Mills Knight. They said, you know what? We were more physical in the second half. We were down by 14 points, came back and claimed, I think, a very hard-fought win last week, and they're 1-0 for the year.
And let's be honest, that 14-0 lead that Rabun Gap had at the half felt like a lot more, but boy, their defense also really closed the door. 3 fourth-down stops. 1 blocked field goal, Joel Lowenberg, an interception to really seal the win. Offensively, as you said, 3 plays of 50 yards or more, and they shut out Rabun Gap on 6 straight possessions to close the game. Coach Kimmery said it was the best defense they have played since he's been here at Baylor, so they really had both sides of the football explosive in the second half of that win last week.
I talked to Coach Kimmery earlier today, and I said, what do you worry about in the heat? And he goes, I think about it every single day. He said, we probably played more players last week in that win over Rabun Gap because of the heat. He said, we practice in the heat. We practiced with a 1 o'clock kickoff to get ready for that game last week. He said, now we've practiced for 7:30 kickoffs. The heat is important, and they thought that when Rabun Gap wore down in the fourth quarter, Baylor was getting stronger because of 2 things, because they substituted a lot and paced themselves and had a lot of gas in the tank late in the game and were able to come back and pull out that win.
I think one person that really felt a lot of pressure when that game started was quarterback Briggs Cherry. To follow Whit Muschamp is not easy. He did a great job in terms of getting the ball to his skill position, explosive players, Shakai Mills Knight, David Gabriel Georges, and Joachim Dotson in the second half. Great decisions for Briggs Cherry.
Gray Collegiate Academy out of West Columbia, South Carolina. We'll get ready for kickoff in just a moment. Red Raiders football should be a fun night.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll pay attention to the Baylor on defense.
Gray Collegiate Academy, a team from West Columbia, South Carolina. If you know the background of Eric Kimry, know that he played at South Carolina, coached high school in the Columbia area, so there's a lot of people he knows on that team. That's how this game came about. They're a team that's 1-0 on the year with a hard-fought 17-14 win over James Island last week. Now, this is a team that's moved up from 2A to 4A, and there's big expectations. Like Baylor, they played in the championship game last year. Like Baylor 2 years ago, they were a state champion. So Gray's Collegiate Academy, War Eagle, they're a good team, and a lot is expected from them this year as well. So it'll be interesting to see how these two teams stack up. I just don't know if Gray's Academy has quite the depth that Baylor will have tonight.
I think especially on the defense side, because what they do with their skill players is they spread the field, and you really have got to have almost two sets of linemen to continue to get pressure on the quarterback and yet still defend the wide spots of the field. So it is very difficult on a defense. The one break Gray Collegiate has tonight, it's not very hot tonight at all. It's a perfect temperature for football.
Should be a good night tonight of this contest between, interesting that Baylor plays a team from Georgia, a team from South Carolina, a team from Florida, before they ever see a team from Tennessee, and that will be at Lipscomb on the 13th. So Eric Kimry and company, nice win last week, getting ready for a contest tonight, trying to go 2-0. And again, we were talking about identity a moment ago. That identity when you come from behind against a real good team last week, a team that beat Baylor a year ago, come back, fourth quarter, national TV, great crowd, great atmosphere. You establish an identity very, very early on in the game.
And Jim, for the coaching staff, they get a win to build on, but yet they have a lot of tape to teach off of. You know, mistakes were made, but they flew around to the football on both sides of the football. So really a great way to start the season with a marquee opponent. You get a W on national TV, and yet there's so much to work on that you have your kids' full attention to prepare for another good team tonight in Gray Collegiate Academy.
Well, we talked about last year's team so much, and Whit Muschamp, as we know, he get the ball in his hands every single play on offense. So what does Briggs Cherry bring to the table? A freshman at Knox Catholic, played here at Baylor last year, but didn't, in all honesty, didn't get a whole lot of snaps. He got some mop-up duty on occasion, but I was talking to Eric Kimry specifically about Briggs Cherry, the junior quarterback for the Red Raiders, and he was saying, you know what? He's got a stronger arm than Muschamp, and that gets your attention. Yes, he told me that.
That gets my attention.
That gets your attention first and foremost. I said, Whit made so many good decisions last year, and he had the skill to do so. And then Eric Kimry said, and he had the skill and the understanding to know what he couldn't do. He goes, Briggs will put it in there in a tighter window on occasion. That'll be fun to watch.
It really will. And boy, you have my curiosity piqued on that note. If his arm,
I made him say it twice.
If his arm is stronger than Witt's. And I think, you really, in this offense, it's about just getting the ball to playmakers. You don't have to be perfect. You just really need to be accurate first and maybe the big arm second, because a lot of throws are to either Shakai Mills-Knight or some of their other backs coming out of the backfield, which opens up the middle part of the field for their slot and wide receivers.
Well, obviously, they had a special receiver last year in Amari Jefferson. I would say Joachim Dotson could be that guy this year. And guess who benefits from that? Cam Sparks and company.
Absolutely. It's really hard to double cover the talent that Baylor has at the receiver and the slot spot. You really have to kind of pick your poison and try and take one player off field. Now, let's give Rayburn Gap credit. In the first half, they did a nice job in their secondary. But again, Baylor just stuck to their plan, wore them down, and really took over the game defensively in the fourth quarter.
I would say last year, Shakai Mills-Knight was a little bit of a question mark. We know now what he can do.
Delivered by Matt Farr, Baylor class of 2003, the chaplain of Baylor School. Then please remain standing for our national anthem to be sung tonight by Baylor freshman Nina Lale. First, Reverend Farr.
I invite you to join me in the spirit of prayer. God of all, we give you thanks for this day and for this opportunity to cheer for these athletes. Give them each the resolve to do their best and fight for every yard. Protect them from all injury. Instill in them and in the fans the virtue of sportsmanship. Bless the Baylor School and Gray Collegiate that their students, teachers, and teams enjoy a year of learning and growth in safety and prosperity. And we thank you for the rain which we sorely need and which will surely hold off until 9:30 p.m. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
From Haywood Stadium, our national anthem as we get ready for this matchup between the Red Raiders and the War Eagles. I mentioned there's a lot of folks on that Gray Academy staff that used to work with and know of and worked with Eric Kimry many times, including the defensive coordinator, was Eric Kimry's defensive coordinator at Hammond School. Of course, he's now in his third year as the head coach.
Gray Collegiate Academy, our number one, B.J. Montgomery.
Eric Kimry at Baylor, total wins 215 against 25 losses all time. Now 22-5 at Baylor, coming off a nice 10-3 season a year ago. So we're getting ready to see the coin toss between the Red Raiders and Gray Collegiate Academy out of West Columbia in South Carolina. Should mention the head coach of Gray Academy is a guy some of you might have heard of if you follow football in the ACC. D'Angelo O'Brien is in his first year as the head coach. He was at Silver Bluff High School in Aiken for 6 years and won state championships there. And before Silver Bluff, he was a very effective running back at Wake Forest. He's only the second head coach in Gray Academy history. So we'll see what happens here tonight as we get ready for this matchup between the Red Raiders, ranked number 1 in the state of Tennessee, and Gray Collegiate Academy, which is a charter school in West Columbia, South Carolina.
Jim, how many games have we done where the opposing team gives the ball to Baylor on the first possession of the game, and how many times has that come back to haunt them?
I was going to say, well,
I don't know that we've done a game where they haven't started on offense.
Yeah, I mean, because Eric Kimry likes the football first, so when Baylor wins the toss, they get the football, but it is a rarity where I'm going to defer to the second half, or I'm going to let the defense set the trend. All right, we were talking about Briggs Cherry just a moment ago, and I asked Eric Kimry specifically, what about his performance in Game 1? He goes, I understand. And, of course, the head coach of the Red Raiders is also the offensive coordinator. And he said, you know what? He did a pretty good job. Yeah, we kind of weren't on the same page early on, but he said, luckily, we have 2 guys in the backfield. What's the quarterback's best friend? Those 2 guys that can carry the football.
Yeah, if you want to critique Briggs at all, he missed high a couple of times, but boy, you know, those swing passes have to be thrown accurately to hit the running back in stride to allow them to take advantage of their speed, and that was very effective. I would think if I'm playing defense against Baylor, I'm looking at 0 and 1. Whichever one starts in the backfield, that's who I'm keying on. Both those guys were deadly last week.
Yeah, they took some shots in the first half, and I thought had some opportunities, but didn't connect on those. As you mentioned, sometimes a little bit high, sometimes a little bit long. He said, so we decided to go, as Eric Kimry called it, we decided to go 0-1, and that means David Gabriel Georges is 0, Shakai Mills Knight number 1. So we went 0-1. That means we're going to pound him a little bit. Take this and see what happens.
And Jim, I know we've talked about Shakai Mills Knight, David Gabriel Georges a lot. Cam Sparks is still among the opinion of many, the best athlete on the field, number 17. So they want to get him active as well. Now, Rayburn Gap, they pretty much committed to shutting him down in the first half last week. It'll be interesting to see what Gray Collegiate does in dealing with number 17, who also starts tonight on special teams.
You know what Cam Sparks was bragging about last week? He threw a block or two down the field that helped spring some of those long plays. How come receivers always like to talk about blocking? Pitchers always like to talk about hitting. Why is that?
Because they want their teammates to block for them.
That's exactly right. That is the correct answer, sir. So Baylor will get the football first, and they keep it away from Sparks. Takes 2 bounces on the near side, but will be returned to the 15 and hit out of bounds about the 17-yard line. So that's where the Red Raiders will begin. First down and 10 yards to go. Caden Dewey returning the football. Couple of yards. Pretty good kick by Gray Academy right there to kind of pin Baylor. That's exactly what you want to do.
Nice kick, and Jim, nice play by Caden Dewey. Not a spectacular return, but he did the most important thing. Kept control of the football and didn't turn it over.
Red Raiders begin 17-yard line, first down and 10. If you're just joining us, we're delayed by lightning. Not lightning here, but lightning down the road. Briggs Cherry, the quarterback. It is Shakai Mills Knight. Play action on play number 1, and the pass complete. That looked a little bit too easy right there to Cam Sparks.
What made it easy in part was Ben Darnell ran a dig route to kind of clear things out, and Cam Sparks had single coverage and easy throw and completion for Briggs Cherry.
You don't think they know when either Sparks or Dotson gets single coverage. That's who you're going to see them throw to all night long, I would think. How about this? Empty the backfield, put 5 in the pattern. Cherry with time. Now he dumps it off over the middle of the field. Pass complete. There's Dotson. Middle of the field, and he picks up yardage just shy, I think, and a late flag.
Late flag.
Just shy of the first down, I think. Had to get to the 39-yard line for the first down. And a face mask. So, yes, that will be a good enough for a first down.
That will tack on yardage to that. Joakim Dotson just turned around and sat in the open spot of that defense. Another easy throw for Briggs Cherry. And when they put 5 in the pattern, Jim, and you have any time at all to throw, there's a host of places to go with the football.
Cherry did a good job because they delayed that blitz with the linebacker coming in late. Cherry was able to pick it up. He knew he was going to take a pop, unloaded, and it's a first down for the Red Raiders as they move into Gray Academy territory at the 46-yard line. Again, empty in the backfield with 2 receivers left, 3 right. Cherry with time once again. Picking out the receiver. Throws a little bit high, but the receiver makes the catch. Good job that time by Leclerc.
Alexi Leclerc there. Just waiting on that shallow cross. Again, plenty of time to throw and another easy completion.
Gained about 6 yards on that first down play, so second down and 4. Second and 4, opening possession of the game, delayed by lightning down the road. We didn't see any here, but they said it was within a mile and a half. Mills Knight. Instead, they give it up the middle to Sparks, and Sparks has another first down inside the 35.
What a look there that time, Jim. You send Shakai Mills Knight in motion, and then you go shovel pass underneath to Cam Sparks.
Sparks brings it down to the 33-yard line. What's it all about? Getting the football in the hands of playmakers. That was a good way to do so. Play action. Cherry with time. Goes end zone. Looks. Has a receiver. A little bit of a bump, but no flag. Incomplete pass.
Just a touch overthrown that time. Joakim Dotson streaking to the end zone. Really double covered that time. Nice defense by Gray Collegiate.
Should mention Gray Collegiate won a tight game last week a tight district game. They've moved up 2 classifications since last year in the state of South Carolina, going from 2A to 4A, and that's a big leap. Got a new head football coach and a new athletic director to help make that move. Mills Knight gets the call right up the middle. Spin move, gets away from one, but good tackle.
Very nice block that time by number 19 tight end Ben Darnell came in and sealed a crease for Shikai Mills Knight to get loose on.
We're going to take a look more, but when we take a look at that Gray Academy, you'll see Michael Boulware, number 7. Yeah, same Boulware family that are legacy players at Florida State, and dad and uncle both played in the NFL. That's a pretty good gene pool right there. To the 29-yard line where it's third down. First third down of the series for the Red Raiders. Man in motion near side. Play action. Dump on the near side. Pass complete 25-20. That should be enough. It is enough for a Red Raider first down.
Jim, you talked about blocking. They bring Alexia Leclerc in motion. They throw to Cam Sparks, and Leclerc has the final block on the sideline to open up first down yardage.
Picks up 8. And that's the first down for the Red Raiders. Drive continues. Opening drive, play number 8 of the night. Cherry from the gun. Play action, rolls out far side, throws in the end zone, wide open, easy catch.
Oh my goodness.
That's too easy. Touchdown for the Red Raiders on the opening possession, and give Cam Sparks, the senior. Boy, you can pick out some weapons at there, and the Red Raiders go from their own 17 to the end zone, an 83-yard, 8-play drive on drive number 1 of the night.
Jimmy, he was so wide open, he had to wait for the football. Busted coverage that time by the War Eagles.
21-yard touchdown reception. Sparks from Cherry. So Baylor had to come from behind last week, and they said, you know what, this week let's just take the opening possession and go 83 yards on 8 plays.
Boy, that was machine-like efficiency offensively there. That last touchdown, Cam Sparks absolutely wide open in the right corner of the end zone. Here they go. They fake to Shikai Mills Knight. Spark, look at that. Nobody within 10 yards of him. That's an easy pitch and catch, and that moves the scoreboard for the first time tonight.
Is that definition of busted coverage right there?
Yes, I would think I would think so.
That's a guy you don't lose, I'll put it that way. You better know where Cam Sparks is every play.
Again, so creative offensively to create mismatches and confuse the defense. So when defense is confused, they're slower, and Baylor took advantage of them right there.
But again, we said this last year so many times. Who are you going to double team? You're going to double team Dotson? You're going to double team Sparks. Either way, they're going to find Briggs Cherry's role tonight, and maybe his role all season. Find the one-on-one coverage, take advantage, let your guys make a play.
Jim, what that does also is it loosens up that box, so the next offensive series, if they want to run, now they may have a little bit more room to do so.
Red Raiders kick it off. It goes in the end zone, and so Gray Academy will get their hands on the football for the first time tonight, but Baylor efficient on drive number 1, scoring at the 9:45 mark, 8 plays, 83 yards, 2:12 on the clock. 21-yard touchdown pass from Briggs Cherry to Cam Sparks, and it's a 7-0 Baylor lead. 9:45 to play in quarter number 1. Yeah, that's how it looked earlier. We had a little lightning delay here. Well, okay, it wasn't quite that. In fact, we didn't see lightning, but they said, trust us. It's somewhere down the road.
Interesting to get a look at the War Eagle quarterback, Tyler Waller.
Had a good week last week in their opening victory in 4A. Waller with time. How about a pick on play number 1? Waller puts it up in the air. That's Colby Barrett. Barrett picks off the pass. A nice athletic move, and 1 play, 1 turnover for Gray Academy.
Well, you never want your quarterback to miss high, especially in the middle of the field. An overthrow, and Colby Barrett is there to reel it in. A turnover, and Baylor takes over at their own 40.
So Gray Academy, after giving up a touchdown on the first possession, They have the football for 6 seconds before Baylor takes over on the Gray Academy 43-yard line. Let me see what Eric Kimry does right here. A lot of times on a sudden change in a situation like that, bam, you go end zone. Let's see if they try to burn that defense early on or play more conservative. Oh, the plan is B. Handoff running back. It doesn't get a whole lot of running room that time. Pretty good tackle and pursuit that time by the defensive end, the senior Zeb Taylor, 6'1", 255.
David Gabriel Georges with a long touchdown run in the second half last week. They'd like to get him cranked up tonight as well.
Second down, 10. On the far side, pass complete, breaking a tackle, picking up the first down the far sideline. Well, if you can't hand it off, you dump it off to Shakai Mills-Knight.
Devon Toney was there for the War Eagles, just could not make the play in the open field against Shakai Mills-Knight.
Let me tell you, one-on-one, bet on number one.
Difficult, yes, yeah, yes.
Inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. Another first down for the Red Raiders. Already with a 1-touchdown advantage, scoring on possession number 1 of the night. Play action for Cherry. Throws in the end zone again. An open receiver. And touchdown.
And that is why Joakim Dotson is a recruit for the University of Tennessee right there. Single coverage, tight coverage, far right of the end zone. Had to extend and not only maintain possession, get a foot in bounds, does it all. 6 more for the Red Raiders.
Saw Gray Academy waving it off, saying, no, he bobbled it. Wrong. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for the Red Raiders early on for the number 1 ranked team in the state of Tennessee, and the extra point is good. Red Raiders with a 14-0 lead over Gray Academy, a team from West Columbia, South Carolina. Now, this is the script that Eric Kimry wrote for tonight. Oh, get the football, opening possession, touchdown, interception, get the ball back on the other side of the field, and go 43 yards for the score. So the Red Raiders scored at the 9:45 mark and then followed it up 55 seconds later.
Watch this. Corner of the end zone, has to extend himself, and that was good coverage that time.
Yeah.
By Caleb Razor, just not good enough. Joakim Dotson in traffic, in collision form, reels it in for touchdown, number 1. For him, number 2 of the night.
That drive, 43 yards, 49 seconds, 3 plays, 23 yards. Joakim Dotson from Cherry after the interception. Second kickoff, and again into the end zone. 2 possessions, 2 scores for the Red Raiders, 14-0 lead, and Baylor will go back on defense for the second play.
Boy, Jim, if you're the War Eagles,
Bam, bam.
you don't have to have a touchdown, but you've got to have a first down just to keep that defense off the field, if nothing else, at the very least.
Talked to Rusty Wright, the head coach of the Mocs this week, goes, we play physical. Goes, you know what? I don't think people like getting hit in the mouth. I said, you know what?
I would agree.
In my case, or anywhere else for that matter. 8:50 to play in the first quarter. And Gray Academy, they've been hit in the mouth. War Eagles with the football, first down and 10 at the 20. Now, that's B.J. Montgomery, a senior running back, 5'10", 198. I watched some of his highlights last week. He's the guy that's going to pound away. Watch number 1. Again, the pair of number 1 running backs tonight are both very, very good.
That's a fantastic gain on first down. Just kept his leverage and kept his legs turning.
Picked up 7. Second down and 3. Red Raiders on defense. They put 3 at the line of scrimmage. 3 defensive linemen. To throw, loops it out near side, pass complete, bumped out of bounds. The guy that got the pick a moment ago makes a tackle right there, Colby Barrett. I think that'll be the first down of the night.
4 receivers that time. Quentin Stroman with the catch and a nice, accurate, tough to throw football to the sideline across the field.
But you're right, for the War Eagles, what they need to do, just get a first down. Just let things settle in a little bit. I mean, if you take a look at that offensive line, they've got some bulk there. And last week, Waller had a lot of time to throw, and they've opened some holes, and I mentioned Montgomery's pretty good at that running back spot. Waller scrambled, gives it to Montgomery, and he drops the football. Incomplete pass, had it in his hands, and then kind of batted away. So it goes called an incomplete pass, and Chris Reniger in on the stop. You see number 27 right there.
B.J. Montgomery may be a little bit more concerned about turning the ball upfield.
Second down, 10 yards to go after the incomplete on first down. 3 receivers left, 1 right single setback. Waller with time once again. Dumps it off near sideline. Not a good throw, incomplete. After you've thrown a pick, you might be a little gun shy because you say, I want only my guy to get it. I understand near the sideline, but you can do a little bit more than that.
But Jim, as a quarterback, that's a routine throw you have got to make, because instead of second and manageable, it's third and long.
Third down and 10 from the 31-yard line. Drive began on the 20. Gray picked up a first down, but now face a third down and long. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Montgomery the single setback. And Waller will go from the shotgun. Hands it off Montgomery, which is always a good play. Boy, he dives, and he carries that a little bit loose. He didn't have the 5 points tucked in, did he?
He was hit within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage and still turned in a positive gain, but not nearly enough for the first down, and the War Eagles will have to kick.
Yeah, picked up about 7. That still leads with a 4th and 3 at the 38-yard line. So Baylor should get the football back right here.
Junior Keaton Whaley back to receive for the Red Raiders.
So 1 first down for Gray. This is Junior Gonzalez, the kicker. Takes a snap, not much of a rush. Not the greatest kick in the world with no rush on, and Baylor will wisely get away as it takes a little bit of a Gray Academy roll to about the 33-yard line. That's where the Red Raiders will begin. So for Baylor, 2 possessions, touchdown with a 14-0 lead. 2 possessions for Gray Collegiate Academy, interception and punt. This will be the 3rd possession of the night for the Red Raiders, who have a 14-0 lead. Let me see my quarterback watch. Briggs Cherry. We were told that Eric Kimry would like to, if he had the opportunity, to use other quarterbacks and give them a little game experience. 7:04 to play first quarter. Red Raiders, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, and running room. Wow.
That's so tough to stop, Jim.
Let's see if
stutter step and cut back.
The question is it coming back? Because there's a flag down near the line of scrimmage, and
might be a little too well blocked.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. You see the Red Raiders moving in reverse right there, so a nice burst. Unfortunately for Baylor, this one going to come back, so a nice game is going to be negated right here. Holding call on Baylor. 14-0 lead for the Red Raiders. A couple of touchdown tosses for Briggs Cherry already tonight. Cam Sparks with 1 and Dotson with the other. First 2 possessions, first 2 scores of the night. Move this one back, and all of a sudden you're behind the sticks. They switch corner and safety. Interesting. Cherry over the middle. Pass complete. Caden Dewey with the catch. Still moving, and yes, even though behind the sticks, picks up the first down. Back into War Eagle territory around the 45-yard line.
Von Tony and J.P. Sweat. That play gives Baylor a first down in War Eagle territory at the 45.
Cherry to Dewey, what a great connection that time. Plenty of time to throw.
all the way down to the 45-yard line where it's first down and 10. Already a 14-0 lead for the Red Raiders. Briggs Cherry. Screen pass, wow, dangerous because it's deflected up in the air.
Briggs Cherry's pass intended for David Gabriel Georges. Little too tall, falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Second down and 10 after the incomplete pass. Showing blitz. Hand it off right up the middle, running room. First down and more, fouling a blocker to the 20.
David Gabriel Georges carries for a Baylor first down. Finally bumped out of bounds by K.D. Daniels.
What a burst that time.
Baylor set up 1st and 10 at the 13.
By David Gabriel Georges. Just spectacular running. Great body lean, well blocked. Another first down for the Red Raiders.
First down inside the 15-yard line. Cherry to throw. Looks in the end zone. Yes! Pass complete. Dotson with his second touchdown reception of the night.
And again, Jim, not an easy catch. Fairly good coverage, and Dotson extends and finds the end zone for his second touchdown of the night.
He's got the last two. Cam Sparks caught the first one. Touchdown reception. 13-yard touchdown catch.
It's not supposed to be this easy.
3 scores, 3 possessions. Extra point on the way, and the extra point is good. 3 touchdown passes. Briggs Cherry off to a pretty good start, I'd say.
Even with a holding penalty, converted that with 1 pass, and just spectacular efficiency by the Baylor offense tonight.
That drive, 67 yards. It took 1 minute, 3 seconds, 4 plays, and a 13-yard catch.
Cherry looked to his right to kind of open up some space. It was still well defended, but a pinpoint accurate pass. And Joaquin Dotson sticks it in the end zone.
Baylor to kick off once again, now owning an early 21-0 lead. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns, 3 touchdown passes for Briggs Cherry. Sparks has caught 1, Dotson the last 2. Had a little bit of a lightning delay, so we were a little bit late getting started. Kickoff again in the end zone. So Gray Academy's kind of taking that punch we talked about, right? 6:01 to play, first quarter.
And that is kind of the key, Jim. 6 minutes left in the first quarter. You have the entire second quarter. This is not panic time for the War Eagle offense. What it is efficiency time. Execute efficiently. First downs can lead to touchdowns, but you've got to, number one, protect the football and just settle into this game.
They have some receivers. The question is, can Tyler Waller, does he have enough time to find them? He might have to shorten up his game a little bit. And I would say that running back number 1, B.J. Montgomery, I think he's got to be a bigger part of what they do. There he is on a delay, going outside. Oh, one-on-one coverage right there. One-on-one tackle. Open field that time.
Nice gain and a nice open field tackle by Jamie Theodore, who had that block of a field goal attempt last week in the second half.
And a little 9-yard pickup on first down. That's 2nd and 1. That makes things a lot easier.
That's their best first down play of the night so far.
.29-yard line, 21-0 lead. Gray Academy 2nd down and a yard to go. For Gray Academy, they picked up a first down. Their first play of the night on offense. And you can see the timeout. Baylor scored on their first possession, and Gray Academy came out, threw an interception. Baylor eventually turned that into points on the board. They did pick up a couple of one first down on their last possession, now a yard away right here, but early on, pretty dominant performance by the Red Raiders.
Jim, whatever the War Eagles saw, they didn't like, and this is the type of game, you just had your best first down play of the night. You see something you don't like or an alignment or you're not on the same page, that's not a bad time to use a timeout, because a turnover or a miscue can set you way back in this game. You're already down 3 touchdowns. Your margin for error is slim.
Yeah, I would say Gray Collegiate Academy out of West Columbia, South Carolina, in an interesting situation. You don't want to gamble too much because you don't want to make a big mistake, but you can't let the game get away from you. Zion Ja moves in motion. Waller flush from the pocket, going to run it himself, and there's a pair waiting for him. He does pick up the first down across the 30, so the second first down of the night for the War Eagles. A wise quarterback. He saw 2 men waiting on him, said, you know what? You know what's in order here? Hitting the turf.
That's right.
Slides for a first down. 1st and 10, 31 marked at the 31-yard line. Gray Collegiate Academy in the silver helmets, white jerseys. Baylor in the red. Play action to Montgomery. They're going to run the quarterback once again. Or going to run, yeah. Picks up good yards.
Good decision there. Efficient again on first down.
You think that was designed? I think it was designed.
I think it was
too.
too.
Yeah. They just have to take a little bit of the pressure off and open up the playbook just a little bit. That's about a 7-yard pickup on first down. So it's 2nd down and 3 yards to go. 2nd and 3 at the 38. Gray Collegiate Academy Charter School in the Columbia area. B.J. Montgomery trying to go wide, and as he gives some ground, good pursuit. Great penetration. That's a loss of a yard or 2.
Keaton Whaley with fantastic penetration that time. Solid open field tackle.
I'm going to say he lost 2 feet. Does that work?
It works for me.
Because he was at the 38, now just in back of the 38. So it's still going to be 3rd down, about 3.5 yards to go. 3rd and 3. Red Raiders showing blitz. Let's see if they're coming. That was Lowenberg.
Lowenberg almost
I
got
was going to
caught
say,
there.
he danced right at the line of scrimmage. Make sure not to go over the line. Handoff Montgomery, good call. Hit from behind, and that probably gave him the first down.
Boy, solid push by that offensive line as well for the War Eagles. A much-needed first down.
Put down the 43-yard line.
And, Jim, this isn't a place where you totally just abandon your offense and play catch-up. You still need to function within your normal script of plays, the first 15, 16 plays that you really want to run here.
We're still in the first quarter. Montgomery gets the handoff. He goes wide, gets the midfield, moves into Raider territory. Takes a pretty good pop, but hangs on to the football.
Joe Lowenberg brought some wood that time.
Joe Lowenberg going to MTSU, but boy, if he needed a recruiting tape, he got one last week.
Yes.
He was everywhere. He was everywhere.
Key interception late to seal the win. One thing about it, wherever he plays, number 4's motor runs full speed.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. If you find 4, you'll find the football sooner or later. 3 receivers left, 1 right on 1st and 10. I don't think we were planning on the quarterback to be a big running part of this attack. But, again, that's what the defense is giving you right now.
Exactly. Whatever moves the sticks at this point and keeps your defense off the field.
That's exactly right. From the 47-yard line to the 43, gain of 4 on first down, 2nd down 6. You see the score, 21-0. Briggs Cherry's already thrown 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Dotson, 1 to Sparks so far. 3 possessions, 3 TDs for the Red Raiders. Gray Collegiate Academy with the possession right now. They've held on to it. Longest drive of the night. Wow. trying to secure the football. You look it in like they tell you to do, and then bam. Hey, number 20, good to see you.
Jordan Derangia with a solid open field pop there. But again, third down and short for the War Eagles. This is third down and important. They need to stay on the field.
3rd and 2 for the War Eagles. They send 2 receivers left, 2 right, single setback. So they spread the field a little bit on 3rd down and short. I don't think Baylor's fooled. They're stacking up and saying, we know Montgomery's getting the football. Come on now. Let's see if he does. See if they hand it off to running back.
Nate Dixon, the sophomore, with a solid run that time, and they move the sticks.
Dixon is 6 foot 185, so he's a little bit bigger than B.J. Montgomery. But that combination, really a deadly combination for the War Eagles. You can go 1 and 3 where Baylor goes 0 and 1,
0
right?
and 1, yes.
Montgomery and Dixon, pretty good running combination. That time, Dixon good enough for a War Eagle first down in Baylor territory down at the 36-yard line. First down and 10. Dixon up the middle. Picks up a yard, not much more. So on first down, Baylor surrenders just a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
The Red Raiders brought Jordan Derangia on basically a run blitz that time, and he got a piece of that tackle, just came blitzing off the left side.
War Eagles looking for something that works right now and have had some success with that running game. Spread the field a little bit. Montgomery and Dixon have proven to be pretty good accomplices as the first quarter comes to an end. Not a bad first quarter for the Red Raiders. They're pitching a shutout so far. At the end of a quarter, it's Baylor 21. Briggs Cherry 3 touchdown passes. Baylor scores first at the 9:45 mark. Sparks with a 21-yard touchdown reception at the 8:50 mark. Less than a minute later, 23-yard touchdown pass from Cherry to Dotson. And then at the 6:01 mark, first quarter, 13-yard touchdown reception from Dotson, his 2nd touchdown catch of the night. Extra points all good. At the end of a quarter, 21-0. Baylor on top. Baylor number 1 in the state of Tennessee in the Associated Press poll, leading Gray Collegiate Academy.
Easily the most effective drive of the night for the War Eagles. Longest possession of the night. So, Jim, they were able to kill most of that. They killed 6 or so minutes when they took over the football, and they found a little answer, and it's running the football.
Yeah, they took possession with 6:01 to play in the quarter, so they had possession more than half of the quarter, although Baylor struck quickly. So the 3 possessions for Gray Collegiate Academy, the first possession was that 1 play interception. Last possession, they had 7 plays, but only picked up 1 first down. This time they started at the 20. Now have moved to the Baylor 36-yard line. Baylor 35-yard line. 2nd down and 9. This will be the 12th play of this drive, so easily the most productive drive of the night for the War Eagles. That's a backward pass, and they're going to throw it again. Wide open on the trick play. Touchdown, War Eagles. How about that? A 35-yard touchdown pass to Hazari Gant.
Zion job to Hazari Gant. They capitalize on an aggressive Baylor defense, and you called it quickly a backwards pass. By that time, the defense had already played the short pass, and Hazari Gant absolutely wide open in the end zone.
So we've seen a couple of wide open receivers in the end zone so far tonight. Trick play, and that's what Gray's Academy needed. Gray's Collegiate with their first touchdown of the night. But that was a nice drive. That's an 80-yard drive, 11 plays. Like I said, and used over 6 minutes. 6:09 is the time of possession. Gant on a 35-yard touchdown reception. from a fellow receiver, right?
Yes, and that wakes up that entire sideline now.
Yes.
Back in the football game, you found a formula.
Well, in situations like that, I always think you want to reverse momentum, which is not an easy thing to do. I think momentum is a funny thing in athletics and everywhere else. Baylor had the momentum, had a 21-point lead, and bam, you stop that, you get on the board, and all of a sudden you got a little bit more of a football game.
And I was thinking at best, boy, it wouldn't a field goal really just to get on the board, and they end up cashing in for 7.
Yeah, when you pull out the gadget play, you say, you know what, this is pretty important. I'm going to play. I can save it for next week, but I think I might need, and then you kick it short. Good return across the 40 to the 41, 42-yard line.
And that's a solid return by Cody Davenport. That was not an easy football to catch. Obviously didn't expect it. And again, possession first, progress second. He did both.
Gets it across the 40 to the 41-yard line. So Gray Collegiate kicks it short. Baylor responds with a heads-up play. Not fooled by the short kick. Return to the 41-yard line.
If you're the War Eagles, you didn't give up a return, but you have set Baylor up in great field position yet again.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd necessarily call it a short field, but it sure ain't a long field. Cherry remains in there. Pump fake, puts it downfield and overthrows. Yeah, I think the pump fake kind of threw everyone off on the near sideline and trying to work his way back to the football, and that didn't work.
The pump fake moved Caden Dewey a couple of steps up in the pattern, and then he had to come back for the football. A little miscommunication there.
Tried to adjust. Might have, that's when you store away and you say, hey, maybe stop and go will work. You set up that. Incomplete, so second down and 10 yards to go. Red Raiders put 2 receivers left, 1 right, sending the big tight end in motion. So 2 left, 2 right is the way it ends up. Cherry with time, and that time has disappeared.
Oh my goodness, he sacked there, and he had Ben Darnell absolutely wide open. He came in motion and sat there, nobody within 5 yards of him. They'll show that to Briggs when he comes off the field after this possession.
I think I think as a quarterback, you understand that the clock is ticking. He said, you know what, if I hang on to it 1 more second, I'm going to get my tight end wide open. That 1 second disappeared in a hurry. Loss of about 10 back to the 31-yard line. 3rd and 20. First sack of the night. So Gray Collegiate getting a little bit more aggressive right now. Here they come again. Cherry with time, throws it far sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. Sparks in the open field at the 30, spin move 25, breaks a tackle. And you talk about cruising in the end zone.
It's not supposed to be that easy, Jim.
I just think that Cam Sparks makes it look easy. His second touchdown catch of the night.
He got past Michael Boulware in the middle of on that far sideline, and then he just decided to take everybody to school on that play.
Red Raiders answer with a nice touchdown. Dotson and Sparks have a little competition so far tonight. Extra point on the way, and the extra point is good. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns for the Red Raiders, and I would say more importantly, answering the score by Gray Collegiate a moment ago. That's a 69-yard touchdown reception. As the Red Raiders return the kick to the 41, had lost 10 yards on the sack back to the 31-yard line, but Cherry to Sparks. Take a look at this.
Look at 17 right there in the bottom of your screen. He's going to come up and cross the middle. Cherry in trouble. He just floats it over Boulware, the linebacker. Nobody is there. And look what Cam does. Turns on the spin cycle, heads to the end zone. Touchdown, Red Raiders.
He never got out of second gear, I don't think.
Didn't need to. Again, it's not supposed to be that easy.
Yeah. That drive ends up being 59 yards. And a minute 6 time of possession, 3 plays. And the touchdown ends up being 69 yards. Cherry to Sparks. Sparks' second touchdown of the night. Again, Dotson with 2, Sparks with 2.
And again, we haven't mentioned this tonight. Once again, another kick in the end zone. That third of the game, special teams, you make every opponent start at the 20. You are doing your job and then some.
Every level. So Greg Collegiate takes over first down and 10, and
boy, Jim, that touchdown pass
that was huge.
really didn't have to throw it hard. In fact, you couldn't. You just floated over the linebacker and let number 17 take it to the house.
I'm just amazed that Cam Sparks was just gliding. You see him come off the line of scrimmage. Some guys look like they're working hard. He just looked like everyone else is in quicksand, and he's the only one moving. Unbelievable. What a talent. And again, when you have Dotson there, I've said before, I've said it 2 or 3 times tonight, you can't double team them all, can you?
No.
You get one-on-one coverage.
Especially when they go deep, you have to account for them because they're so fast, and that leaves portions of the field open like we saw there, and it's tough for a linebacker to guard Cam Sparks.
And Michael Boulware is one of the best around. Great speed, like I said. NFL credentials from his dad and his uncle. Play action, again. Throwing it backwards, complete, and running room.
Jim, I thought we might see a double pass
I did
again
too.
there.
Because he threw it backwards.
The way he caught that football, it looked like he wanted to put it in his right hand and chuck it again.
I thought that same thing.
That was Azari Gant who was on the receiving end of that long touchdown.
Third down. Third down and a couple. So he got a bunch of it back. Third down about 2.5. 3-man front Red Raiders. Waller has Dixon standing next to him. 2 receivers left, 1 right on third down, about 2.5 yards. See if the Red Raiders can get some pressure here. Handoff, nope. Keeper, that's been effective for them tonight. And again, I saw a little bit of their game last week with James Island. They won their first game of the year last week in a close game. They won 17-14 over James Island in South Carolina. But I didn't see Waller run the football as much as he did. He had a total of 48 yards last week, but he's made some big plays, some crucial plays so far tonight.
Yes.
In keeping drives alive. Up to about the 32-yard line, first down. Right into the line.
Boy, that play was fast, started, and quickly shut down. Nate Dixon.
We've seen Dixon, but have we seen Montgomery come back in the game? See, I don't think we've seen number 1 in a while.
I think you're right.
And I don't think they lose much, if anything. I like Dixon as a running back. He seems a little bit more physical.
Both backs with just great body lean.
So 2 receivers left, 2 right on second down, about 9 yards to go. Dixon, number 3, is in there. You see him at the setback. Baylor shows blitz. Complete near sideline and then bumped out of bounds.
Again, an easy throw and catch on the far sideline.
Your man, Zion Job.
Zion Job. You're right, we have not seen Montgomery for a while. He checks back in, and Nate Dixon checks out for the War Eagles.
Now, maybe that could be planned. I'd say you're going to do this series, and then someone else will do the next one. Montgomery back in the lineup for Greg Collegiate. They go trips left. That means 3 receivers left side. A little bit of a delay right there, on purpose or not.
How about that? Boy, that formation just screams pass, but it was actually run all the way.
And Montgomery in the bottom of that pile. Hey, thanks for letting me back in the game. Good pursuit.
C.J. Weiler.
Absolutely.
Rafi Kuzamana, very effective at that nose guard spot. Jaden Arenas Michelle on the far defensive end, the right defensive end. Those three are getting it done up front.
So again, 9 yards to go. They move Montgomery in the pattern. Waller wants to throw, gets uncomfortable, runs the football, dodges one, and slides down at the 50. Does not get the first down.
An effective run, though, and he actually had B.J. Montgomery in the near side here in the flat, but decided to just take it himself. A little bit of defensive pressure by C.J. Weiler. Nice job there holding his position, number 35.
Yeah, I mean, make no mistake, they're a good football team. They were in the state championship game a year ago and won the state championship 2 years ago. So that resume actually mirrors what Baylor has done.
Caleb Berry at the near sideline here, number 12, 6'4", an impressive athlete at receiver.
Look at that one-on-one coverage. Pass incomplete. One-on-one coverage is one thing, but you got to have enough time to find that open receiver, especially if you're going to go long. And you mentioned looking on the near side to Berry, 6'4", 190 junior.
He was well covered that time, though.
By Tyler Rice here. You see Tyler, number 25. And again, when you trust your defensive back, say, okay, one-on-one, you're on the island, buddy. See you, Gilligan. Have a nice day. Fourth down about 4. They opt to punt, or at least they opt to get in punt formation. And we'll punt. Baylor will get away, I think.
Boy, what a great bounce for the War Eagles.
I was going to say. Well, sandwich action right there, putting it down right at the 10 or 11-yard line.
Yes, sir.
So, for Gray Collegiate, took over at the 10:41 mark on that drive. Got one first down, but, you know, you talk about flipping the field. What do you want to do? Okay, if I don't get points, I want to flip the field. Pretty good job using the kicking game, as you said. Pretty good sandwich on the green. They put it down to the 10-yard line. But Baylor is perfect so far tonight. 4 possessions, 4 scores.
Question is, Jim, can they get enough pressure on Briggs Cherry to slow down this Baylor offense, especially through the air?
And there's the change we talked about at quarterback, right?
Solid run, but a flag came in late. This may come back.
I told you earlier, Ben Halavi in there at quarterback. He is a freshman. Eric Kimmery told me today, he said, JR, I'm going to put him in there, so don't think I'm mad at Briggs. Don't think he's hurt. Scheduled plan to put the freshman quarterback in the game and get him some snaps, and that is so smart because how many times you go with the same quarterback? You name the level of football.
Yep.
Does the same guy start game 1 that starts game 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16?
Much like they did with Briggs Cherry last year, coming in for Whit Muschamp on series at times.
So putting the freshman in the game right now.
With the penalty, 1st and 12 now for the Red Raiders.
So half the distance on the penalty. And again, you get another signal caller in there.
Fantastic.
Interesting. Throws the. I was going to say most of the time.
Concept?
Most of the time, freshman quarterback. What do? Hand off, hand off, hand off. They said no, right by the goal line. Throw a long pass to the sideline.
You have to feel for the War Eagle defensive back having to deal with number 79, Gabe Osenda, in the flat. What do you do there? Did the best he could. Great gain on 1st down for the Red Raiders.
Ben Halima at quarterback. Letting him fling the ball. I love it. Pass complete far side. A little late out of bounds, I thought, but no flag on the play.
Again, an easy throw, single coverage. Joakim Dotson, they gave him some cushion, and Ben Halavi took advantage of it.
Would you give him some cushion?
Yes.
I'm not going to
give them all cushion.
I was going to say, I'm not going to be called Toast. Toast and Scorch, those are the nicknames for corners sometimes. Yeah. I knew one that they called Toast. I knew one that they called toast that played in the NFL for a long time. 1st and 10. Rolling out near side, little backside pursuit, up in the air and complete. How about
How
that?
about that arm, and how about that catch? Tight ropes the sideline. The freshman throws a dart, and Joakim Dotson is there to reel it in.
He's at the 39-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for Baylor.
Baylor with another first down. We had some cloud cover. We were late getting underway because of lightning in the area, but I'll tell you what, I'll take that. It was 100 degrees when I got here today. Handoff right up the middle. How about that? There wasn't any running room, and he still got some positive yards out of that.
Ethan Razor, the senior defensive lineman, 6'2", 260, started it but couldn't finish it.
I've said many times, I don't care if it's Walter Payton or Eric Dickerson or Barry Sanders. I think the greatest backs are the guys that should lose 3 and end up making 2. I think those are the runs.
And that run is a textbook example of that.
Out to the 42-yard line. Not a big gain, I get it, but certainly not a loss. Slant over the middle.
My
Can you
goodness.
catch Dotson? Not until he makes a first down and brings it down to about the 32-yard line.
First of all, what a great read to see that the defensive back was off. He got great leverage. Joakim Dotson in the slant, and what a dart he threw. The freshman with a gun.
First and 10, moving to the Gray Collegiate side of the field. Forced to run, spins away, out,
Goodness.
takes a hit.
Watch out, number 6.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't get all froggy on me. You've had some success. You're still a freshman.
There's times to make business
Yes.
decisions.
And there's times to make survival decisions.
Yes, that was a violent pop right there.
Lost about 3 yards, so it's second down, about 13 yards to go. 2nd and 13 on Gray Collegiate's 35-yard line. Charter school from West Columbia, South Carolina. Shakai picking his way in traffic, bringing it down to the 35-yard line.
Just a fantastic run, 2nd and long, and keeps his balance and explodes in just limited quantities, but a positive gain. Now you get 2nd and very manageable now.
Third down, yeah, that was
Excuse me,
2nd and
third
13,
down.
so now it's 3rd down and short.
3rd and 2, from 2nd and 13 to 3rd and 2.
I think Eric Kimry and Lane Kiffin like Shakai Mills Knight. 3rd down short, let's see who gets it. Ole Miss commit. Putting it up in the air.
Oh, that's a pass Ben would like to have back.
Yes. How did Cam Sparks make that adjustment, though, is my question.
that was a
He
Gumby.
looked like Gumby.
That was a Gumby catch, yeah.
4th down, what are you going to do here?
We're going to get our first look at the Red Raider kicking game, it looks like.
I would say in a different situation, you might go for it.
Again, though, Jim, what a great pressure test for your special teams. 2nd game of the season, you have a big lead. And you see what number 80 can do here from deep.
What do you think that can mean?
Maybe a little bit too much time they took to get set up.
Felipe LaForge, number 80. Senior kicker. My question is, you still going to kick? You're going to go for it on 4th and 5? I'm still kicking because
80's coming out there. Yeah, why not? Take it. Let's see what your special teams have.
you know what? That's exactly why.
Let's get a baseline on that, and let's see what number 80 can do with his leg. There's one guy that has done a great job tonight, but hasn't gotten into the end zone yet. Ben Darnell, number 19, the very effective tight end. He has worked hard and blocked well. They would sure love to get him into the end zone here in the first half.
This will be a 45-yard field goal. Bobbled the snap, bobbled the kick. So now you're in fire drill time, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, bad snap there. So you found out something about your special teams.
Yeah, you need to work on it.
Developmental opportunity there, yes.
I just think the holder took his eye off the ball, which happens sometimes, and then bobbled it.
You think
That
he
throws
did, or
the
did he have
time.
was the snap low? I couldn't tell.
I thought the snap was okay. I thought that's one that a holder's supposed to catch and set it up. But a missed field goal. But again, knowing coaches the way I do, some of the things they love is to win big, and have enough mistakes that no one gets cocky.
Absolutely.
I got to have something to talk about in a film
Yes,
session.
Yes.
Quick moving first half, 2:32 to play. Helmet on the field.
Boy, Nate Dixon with a solid, got behind his offensive line. And
I like him. Do you?
They cranked up the steamroller on that play. I like both those backs.
Yeah,
they
I do
hit
too.
the hole hard, and really, within 2 steps, they're at full speed.
I think to me, I was under the impression they would throw it a lot more and throw it better. But when you take the combination of the two running backs we talked about, Montgomery and Dixon, and add that quarterback wrinkle in there with Waller does enough to keep you honest. They can move the football.
I think if you're being effective on the ground, why not?
Yeah.
Throw when you want to instead of when you have to.
So they pick up the first down with less than 2 minutes to play in the first half.
And boy, they would love, if nothing else, if they can kill the final 2 minutes of this half.
Yeah.
That's one of those. That's not it doesn't put points on the board, but that's a big win emotionally.
Yeah, the one thing that Gray Collegiate doesn't want to do, they don't want to hand it back to Baylor in this last minute and a half. See the clock running. Waller. Nice pass, middle of the field, pass complete. And again, losing a helmet.
Quentin Stroman ran a nice pattern, single coverage. They looked like they were in a zone. He threw a strike to Quentin Stroman.
Again, you give quarterbacks enough time, most of them will pick out someone, right?
And he really had basically what looked like 2 options there, and that was right in front of him.
So down to the Baylor 44-yard line. Waller with time once again, far sideline. And batted away at the last moment.
Nice recovery that time defensively by Colby Barrett. A little bit beaten there and closed on the football well and got his hands on the ball.
Yeah, nice recovery. Ball was up in the air and thrown high up in the air as well.
Probably too high.
Yeah, and Barrett was able to use that time to recover and bat it away at the last moment. Good recovery, incomplete pass.
Timed it perfectly, no pass interference called.
Yeah.
Nice job defensively by number 8.
We've had a couple penalties in the first half, and pretty clean. Think about that for game number
Absolutely.
2. Two well-coached teams. Brand new is D'Angelo Bryant. His first year at Gray Collegiate, but had been the head coach in Aiken before that. Up in the air, some contact going after the football, no flags and an incomplete pass.
Tyler Rice got his hands on it. That one floated just a little bit that time.
I thought Tyler Rice was so underrated last year.
I agree.
I think he did great things in the secondary. He's always around the football, always around a receiver.
I mean, that's a big play, Jim. Now you have 49 seconds left, and it's 3rd and long. It's probably 4-down territory, but being at the 44 is a heck of a lot better than where that pass would have been caught.
Yeah. Timeout on the field. It'll be interesting to see if Gray Collegiate, if they run here, do they want to just run out the clock, or they said, you know what, I'm on this side of the field. Yeah, you have an interesting decision.
I think they've seen something they want to exploit.
Yeah. And they've taken their shots, and they're thinking, you know what, I'm going to keep throwing. We got some talented receivers. If Waller gets time, he can pick out a guy.
Yep.
And you always think that's going to soften up that defense at some point in time. But he's gotten enough time to throw most of the time. Not a bad quarterback.
No. And pretty good decision maker.
Yes, I'll give you that. Gray Collegiate at Dutch Fork last week, or next week, this coming week on the 13th. Then they will begin conference play against Midland Valley on the 20th, and then conference play the rest of the season. So 3 non-district games for Gray Collegiate. Charter school in West Columbia. There you go.
Wow.
What about time that time?
My goodness.
Hey, guess who's around the football?
Joel Lowenberg.
Who else?
Got some help from C.J. Weiler, and number 4 was able to close the door that time.
You know, it's interesting when you talk to Eric Kimry, the head coach at Baylor, he gives so much credit to Chris Brown, his defensive coordinator. And Chris Brown dialed up, well, let's go blitz with the linebacker number 4 and see how that turned out. I mean, Eric Kimry is the offensive coordinator, but he gives so much credit every chance he has to Chris Brown. And when a head coach does that, you know what? Those assistant coaches, they get it. They said, yeah, he gave me a little love. Not everyone does that.
Chris Brown, also former head coach at Red Bank, and that experience certainly helps. Let's watch the pressure here. 35 on the edge, and Lowenberg coming just straight up the gut and closes the deal.
Like I said, he had a great game last week. So far, pretty good season for the linebacker.
His defenses at Red Bank were outstanding as well, and they did that right there. They put pressure on the passer.
And the thing is, some people blitz every down, and you got to figure it out. When you can dial it up sometimes and then play it straight other times and still be pretty darn effective, sometimes you just don't know what hits you.
Well, he dialed the right number there because Lowenberg just came basically free on that play, and now you force a punt. Maybe the biggest play defensively of the first half for Baylor.
One man deep for the Red Raiders. Whoa,
wow.
He got a piece.
He got a piece.
Sure did. Red Raiders wisely getting away from the football, but still, all things considered, if they said, you know what, you're going to get a piece of the football, but we're still going to put it on the 30, I guess you got to take that if you're.
Bradley Ilunga Bisalele got a paw on that baby.
You practice well, my friend. You practice well. So what does Baylor do right here with 28 seconds in? Briggs Cherry got his job back.
I don't expect them to take their foot off the gas.
Yeah, Briggs is only a junior, remember, so. 4 touchdown passes in the first half.
To your point, Jim, you think number 6 isn't on that bench feeling a lot more confident than he was a half hour ago?
Oh, no question. Cherry didn't see anyone. Wisely at the end of the half said, you know what? I'm not going to give him any momentum at the end of the half, and I think the Red Raiders just going to walk off the field and said, you know what? We got a 21-point lead. We'll take that at halftime.
Traquan Mo Singleton with the sack that time for the War Eagles. 6'3", 285 senior.
And the first half comes to an end. So Baylor scored on their first 4 possessions, then missed on a field goal attempt, and then the half comes to an end. So they had 6 possessions in the half and scored on 4 of them. 21 points in the first quarter, 7 in the second quarter. It is a 28-7 lead at halftime. 28-7 the score at the halftime intermission.
First touchdown of the night to Cam Sparks.
That's 21 yards, Cherry to Sparks.
Then the Baylor defense will get a turnover here. This will be Colby Barrett with a fantastic open field interception, sets Baylor up at the 40. And then Briggs Cherry's going to go back to work.
Play action.
Quick possession here to Joakim Dotson. Well covered, well received. Touchdown. That's a 43-yard drive, 14-0. They're not done. Cherry to Dotson again. Sorry, Caden Dewey, excuse me. That sets the table for another touchdown. And boy, before you know it, the Red Raiders are going to jump out to a 21-0 lead. Nice gain there
David Gabriel Georges.
by David Gabriel Georges. Now Cherry goes back to Dotson again.
Boy.
Again, decent coverage, better hands, and a better throw. That would make it 21-0.
This almost looks silly right here.
Then, boy, they catch the War Eagle defense napping. A floater to 17. Watch what Cam Sparks does. Spin cycle, balance. Next thing you know, 17 is in the end zone. And like you said, Jim, 6 possessions. They scored on 4 of them, and the defense will close it out. 28-7 at the half.
Great first half for the Red Raiders. 28-7 at the intermission. Briggs Cherry has thrown 4 touchdown passes and trying to make everyone happy. Dotson with 2. Cam Sparks with 2. Dotson's were more acrobatic because he was fighting for footballs in the end zone. Cam Sparks, that's just too silly. He makes it look too easy. Sometimes you say, you know what? Life ain't fair. Cam Sparks, he got something that no one else got.
Yes.
Makes it look easy for a pair of touchdowns in half number 1. We're a little bit late getting started, but the Red Raiders still showed up on time. 28-7 the score at the halftime intermission. Getting ready for the start of the second half. Good, productive first half for Baylor. Worth a selfie, no doubt. 28-7, Red Raiders lead. Scoring on their first 4 possessions of the game. They lead at 28-7 at halftime. Again, we talked about talented wide receivers. How do you keep them happy? Dotson,
Feed 'em.
Yeah, Dotson with 2 touchdown receptions. Cam Sparks with 2 touchdown receptions. But I'd say right now, if you're Baylor, what do you want to do? Stay aggressive.
Absolutely. It's a 3-possession game here.
Yeah, don't make this interesting in the fourth quarter. Make it as boring as possible.
And if each team gets the ball 6 times in a half, I mean, there's plenty of opportunity here.
Baylor got the football to start the game and scored on their first possession. McCallie right now, the second-ranked team in the state, is trailing Gadsden County out of Florida 20-8. That's scoring the second quarter. Baylor number 1, McCallie number 2. I've said several times already. I think we'll be saying 1-2, 2-1 all season long. Greg, you talk about it. What a weapon that is right there.
Yes.
What a weapon that is right there.
It just puts, a big chunk of special teams in your back pocket.
When you say every drive or any kickoff, you're going to have to go 80 yards, it's not easy to go 80 yards.
It's not.
You have to do a lot of things well, consistently well. And if you make a team go 80 every time, that just helps you out so much. So we begin quarter number 3, 28-7. Baylor on top of Gray Collegiate Academy. They're from West Columbia, South Carolina. Brand new football coach, D'Angelo Bryan, who had a great career as a running back at Wake Forest.
Nate Dixon starts at running back in the second half here for the War Eagles.
Waller with time and just felt like I got to do something. Finally.
Boy, what did you want? A big number 99, Jaden Arenas-Michelle with the sack that time.
I think Baylor fans are going to like him. I could be wrong.
Shades of the big cat Ernie Ladd, who wore number 99.
There you go. So a loss on the first play of the second half. Loss of about 4, so all of a sudden you're at 2nd and 14. Back at the 16-yard line. So you start at the 20 and you put it in reverse for 4 yards on play number 1. Showing blitz again. Putting it far side. Ooh, a little bobble right there.
Nice recovery.
Yeah.
They brought Lowenberg that time on a blitz from the right side. Tyler Waller read it and got rid of the football quickly to the far sideline.
And that's Gant once again who made that reception. That wide receiver has shown that, again, he made a little rougher than it had to be.
Yes.
They're like showing off a little juggling act, making the reception.
Well, I think the blitz forced them to speed that play up a little more than they wanted to.
So 3rd down and long. 3rd down, you see the stick on that far sideline. 3rd down about 8.5, 9 yards.
3 receivers out of your screen to the bottom of the pattern.
So trips left. Waller throws it on the run and short hops it. And again, pretty good pressure by Lowenberg and company.
Yes, sir. Heat from that defensive line. Jaden Arenas-Michelle, Rafi Kuzimana, and C.J. Weiler. Effective.
That's a good old-fashioned. You can get pressure with 3.
Man. And then you bring Lowenberg in there.
Yeah. So exactly what the Red Raiders would have prescribed to start the second half, which is a 1-2-3 and out.
And my goodness, you got 10:37 left here in the third, and you're trailing a team 28-7. You talk about pressure on your defense.
Red Raiders.
And that kick didn't really help.
Yeah. I was going to say for a moment they might end up on the Gray Collegiate side of the field. They're not, but they're begin on their own 45-yard line.
Against a team with this kind of offensive firepower, Jim, it's a tough way to make a living here.
Make that trip to Columbia. From Columbia here to Chattanooga. But Gray Collegiate, I mentioned earlier, they made the big jump this year. They've gone from 4A, and they've gone from 2A in the state of South Carolina to 4A. And Tab D'Angelo Bryan, who had won state championships at Silver Bluff High School in Aiken. Running room. Down the field. Just gliding in the open field that time.
I promise you, folks, he's running hard. He just makes it look easy. And again, they ran Shakai Mills Knight in motion. Second time they've run that play. This one even more effective than the first time. The defense leans one way, then they go shovel pass right up the middle.
See, when you see Cam Sparks run, you say, boy, he's good. What I say is life isn't fair. Why not me? Play action. Cherry throws. Has a receiver, and it is incomplete. And again, you take that 1-2 combination.
Okay, if he'd have reeled that one in, that might have made SportsCenter. Goodness.
Well, Tom Glavin and Maddox and Smoltz said, yeah, we all competed among themselves. I think Dotson and Sparks would say the same thing.
Heck yeah, he got some separation that time.
Sure did. Clock stop, as you can see, 9:53 to play in quarter number 3. Just underway, second half, obviously. Running room. Boy, you can't cover them all. Little counter play that time, getting it down to the 38-yard line, which is still a little bit shy of the first down.
Jim, Shakai Mills Knight ran for over 130 of his 155 yards in the second half last week, and you get the feeling they're ready to turn number 1 loose here in the third quarter.
How about that? A burst, a first down, and more. Let's try this. How about a little ground attack? 30-yard touchdown run. Shakai Mills Knight, his second TD of the year. He had a 57-yarder this week. This is a more provincial 30-yard touchdown run by number 1.
My goodness.
You hear the SEC chants. Shakai Mills Knight verbally committed to Ole Miss. Boy, remember when we talked about him last year? We go, well, he's got big shoes to fill.
Consider him filled.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. I don't think it was much of a challenge. Had a great junior year, coming back for his senior year. How about the light show?
And how about this, Jim? You're down 35-7, long way from home. So much time left in the third. What a well-blocked play. And number 1 makes this look entirely too easy.
Yeah, he's trying to get 3 yards and a first down. Trying to get 3, ended up with 30. 30-yard touchdown run by Shakai Mills Knight.
Hot knife, meat, butter.
Yeah, second touchdown run of the year. Like you said, last week averaged 11.1 yards per carry. So every time he touched the ball on the ground last week, he got a first down. 11.1 yards per carry. And
he is going to be something in a Lane Kiffin offense.
oof. Look out, Oxford.
I mean, look at that. Almost completely out of the end
Say,
zone.
that's 7 yards deep in the end zone.
First and 10 for the War Eagles in their own 20.
So right now, Baylor has scored 5 of their 7 possessions so far tonight. Red Raiders have never trailed. Unlike last week when they had to come from behind. Scored on possession number 1 tonight, and I would say they really haven't looked back. 9:15 to play in quarter number 3, and it's 35-7, a 28-point Baylor lead. And remember, should I say it, or is that like saying, hey, you got a no-hitter? Should I say it that the mercy rule kicks in at 30?
Well, you just did.
I know. Hit in the backfield.
Wow. And you look at that defense now.
Woo! I was going to say, second week in a row that they seem to get better and better as the game goes on.
My gosh.
we didn't have the 100-degree temperatures at game time that we kind of expected. So maybe it's been a little bit easier. Or maybe not easier, just not as hard as we thought it was going to be. It looked like it was going to be weather forecast that it was just going to be miserable here tonight.
You have to do something to neutralize that pass rush. At least, you know, they've got them peeled back and sitting on G, waiting on O.
Play action.
And again, that's the, you know, Jim, I think the quarterback had more time than he thought.
Yeah.
I think Tyler Waller just said, I got to get rid of this football.
Well, you get a little twitchy sometimes. Like I said, I quoted Rusty Wright, said, you know what? People don't like getting hit in the mouth.
No.
Guess what? He's been hit in the mouth a few times tonight.
Yes.
One day you too could be an exclamation point. Or some other punctuation. It's up to, you know, it's up to you.
How about this? 3rd and long, you're down 35-7 inside your 20-yard line.
I think they did a 10-second run.
Third and 13.
Yeah. Down by 28. Wow. They've had one really nice sustained drive.
Yes.
Talk about great Collegiate. And that was a nice drive. It was a touchdown drive, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's just like this Baylor defense.
Where they went 80 yards, yeah.
They just wait until, you know, until they can pounce.
Baylor ranked number 1 in the state. I just think they have, well, they got the skilled guys with speed, but I think they are got a lot of options.
They do.
I think they can pound some people like they did last week. Raven Gap is noted as a physical team, and Baylor kind of, I thought, won that battle in the second half. 3rd and long. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get 13 yards
kind of
on
signals a lot.
I don't know if you're going to get 13 on that play.
Says a lot right there.
That means let's not do anything stupid and just put the ball up in the air and force anything. But that's a play you're not going to get 13 yards on very often. So it's 4th down. And yes, it's a 35-7 lead for the Red Raiders. Baylor at home next week as well. 3rd week, 3rd state represented. You know, when you talk about...
My goodness. Tyler Rice.
Yeah, the penalty flag, but they may think about declining that. Down to the 10-yard line.
And he did not signal a fair catch.
You still got to let him. There is a flag down.
So that looks to be.
I would say penalty decline. What do you think?
Yep. Unless they got a block in the back. I didn't see.
Coconut Creek.
I mean, you talk about a tough football to handle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You got to let someone, yeah.
So they're tagging the penalty onto the end of the run.
Yeah.
Illegal use of the hands. Apparently we're blocking the back one of the two. But
well,
they wouldn't call the kicking team with a block in the back.
Right, I mean, that was interference on trying to catch the punt. So bring it down. They're going to put it at the 6.
Oh, yeah, 6-yard line.
Starting the drive, 1st and goal, 6-yard line. Everyone wants to carry it now, right? Gabriel Georges is 0.
How about that for a full house backfield?
Yeah, that's Mills Knight wins
Yeah, that's wow.
one play, 6 yards, touchdown. And a nice, the best kind of drives are 5-second drives. 5-second drive, one play. But
42-7, which should kick in that mercy rule.
right. Yeah, Tyler Rice is saying, hey, where's my love? I set up the whole thing. And you know what? He did. Extra point attempt. You know, we talk about kicking game, and you bring that up the most, but when you take a look at the difference in the kicking game where a punt just goes to midfield or whatever, and then you could return it down to the 15, you tack a penalty on, and when kicks go in the end zone,
I mean,
don't overlook that.
It just shortens the field. Last week they blocked a field goal attempt.
Yeah. And when I was talking to Coach Kimmery earlier today, I said, you know what? When Rabun Gap was really playing well in the first half, Baylor made some plays. Rabun Gap should have really been able to add to their lead and were unable to do so.
So here's the catch.
There's the penalty.
Tyler Rice somehow
He
reels
takes it off the back.
football in, took it off the pad of the War Eagle defender, turns it upfield. Fantastic concentration by number 25, and Shakai Mills Knight will close it out with a 6-yard touchdown run.
And if you see the clock moving, that's because we are officially in mercy rule land. Mercy rule is 30 points or more. And since Baylor moves past that threshold with a 30-point lead or more, it's a running clock. By the way, one play, 6 yards, 5 seconds. Touchback, but to see the clock continue to run.
About the only thing that has not gone textbook for Baylor tonight was that one field goal attempt with a bad snap.
So it's now what? 8 possessions, 6 touchdowns. 8 possessions, 6 touchdowns. 21 points in the first quarter, 7 in the second quarter. Now 14 in the third quarter. Clock will continue to run. We were late getting started because of lightning, but now we're rolling along from the 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
Oh my goodness. Joel Lowenberg knows it, should have had it.
Yeah.
Should have had it.
Okay, those are 2 things that have gone wrong tonight.
Yes, about the only 2.
Yeah, I was going to say. You know my philosophy. When in doubt, play Michael Jackson. Second and 10 from the 20-yard line. From the gun. Oh, nice throw.
Nice throw. Nice lane to throw to.
That's your man,
Caleb
Caleb
Berry.
Berry. 6'4", 190 junior. Found a little hole in the donut
Sure
that time,
did.
didn't he? And on a 2nd and 10, picks up a first down.
And Tyler Waller had time to stand up in there and a nice, easy lane to throw to.
Picks up 19 yards and a first down. But again, Waller, like many good quarterbacks, you give him time, he'll find a receiver, and Caleb Berry is a good one. In motion.
Uh-oh.
That's a free football.
Wow.
And a loss. Saw the beanbag come out. That means when the ball was on the ground, that was a legitimate fumble right there.
Hazari Gant just could not keep the handle secure.
Yeah. That's one of those, you know, if you've seen Joe Lowenberg coming at you 2 or 3 times, you might look downfield and not look it in like you're supposed to.
Well, Hazari Gant has made a great catch tonight. He is 5'9", 165, fast. But maybe, you know, that old phrase, be quick, don't hurry.
Yeah. Lost 10 yards that time. Waller, screen pass, and wow.
Great discipline by
Yeah.
the Baylor defense. Bradley Ilunga Bisalele with the tackle there. They had a perfect call for that yardage.
You're exactly
Baylor
right.
played it perfectly.
That's just a smart football player because it just takes 2 steps to get out of position on a play
Yes.
like that and make the screen pass a big gain.
And it would be easy to be over aggressive
Absolutely.
with this big lead and the down and distance.
I agree with that. That's one of those little things that's just a good football player. That's
Well,
good football IQ, as they call
And
it.
a well-coached defense.
Absolutely. 3rd down long. Waller. Nice throw.
Oh,
and
goodness.
that
Stepped
should have
up
been caught.
And made a nice throw. Zeb Taylor, senior, 6'1", 255. Short-armed it just a bit. Had a little more space to catch football than he thought.
Yeah. I'll go back to people don't like to get hit in the mouth. And he thought, if I catch it, what else is coming? I think he's been hit in the mouth. So 3rd and 20 on the incomplete becomes 4th and 20. A running clock as we're in the mercy rule. So he started late because of lightning, and we're making up some time right now.
Better kick here.
Yeah.
And how about Tyler Rice? Fearless, absolutely fearless, sure-handed. Nice job by number 25.
Again, I think Baylor is a very talented. Well, they're ranked number 1 in the state of Tennessee, no question. But so many people have a good offense and a good defense. There are very few that I've seen in the high school ranks that are as solid in the kicking game that as Baylor has been the last 2 seasons that we've been able to see them. So quarterback number 3 of the night. There's the quick handoff.
They bring the freshman back in.
Running clock, end of the 3rd quarter. Jack Ferguson, a freshman running back right there. So Eric Kimry getting the opportunity to play some of the players off the bench a little bit. At the end of the 3rd quarter, that's when that was paparazzi, by the way, at the end.
Nicely done.
Right at midfield. Pass complete to Dewey.
How about the freshman Ben Halevi? He has shown some zip on the football.
Levy comes in, and like I said earlier, Eric Kimry told me earlier today, he goes, JR, I'm gonna try to work him in the first half. I think the original plan was series 3 or 4, and I think he might have come in series 4 or 5. I can't remember, but he said, he may have to play. He's a freshman, getting some experience. And as I said at the time, so many times you put a freshman quarterback in there, what do you do? Hand off, hand off? No, they let him throw the football on his first snap. Here you go.
Designed a nice package for him,
Sure
and
did.
he executed.
Nice. I'm guessing his heart's pounding a little bit, though.
Yes. Jack Ferguson, another freshman in it, running back there. Christopher Smith, freshman in at tight end, number 10.
Ben Halevi, freshman quarterback, number 6. Played a little bit in the first half. Baylor took an early lead. They designed for him to come in the game and getting some duty here in the fourth quarter with the Red Raiders owning a 42-7 lead under mercy rule right now.
Ooh, trouble.
I was going to say.
Wow. Michael Boulware has been a frustrated man all night.
Yeah, we really haven't.
And we got a flag on the play here.
We haven't really called Boulware's name as much as I thought we would. Like I said, Dad and Uncle both played in the NFL and were standouts at Florida State.
Holding on Baylor decline. That brings up
one of the
like
few
fourth
punts of the
down.
night.
Yeah, Boulware, boy, exposed on that beautiful floater to Cam Sparks.
This isn't Baylor's first punt, right? They haven't scored twice. One was at the end of the half, and one was a field goal. This is punt number 1 of the night? I think it is.
I believe so.
Yeah. I think this is possession number 9. And punt number 1. A little high snap. Little pop. And the fair catch made.
Nice kick by Sam Shutters.
Yeah.
Placement-wise.
Yeah, in this scenario of the game, here's your advice to your punter. Don't get it blocked. Make sure you get it off.
Good recovery there on a high snap.
Gray Collegiate Academy, charter school in West Columbia, South Carolina. Won last week over James Island 17-14 and trail in this one with 8.5 to play, 42-7. Say this drive begins at the 8:25 mark of the fourth quarter with a running clock.
Once again, the sophomore Nate Dixon, number 3 in there for
I
the
like-
War Eagles.
I like him.
Yes, he has. He's toted the note pretty well for
Yeah.
the War Eagles.
I thought, in all honesty, we would see more B.J. Montgomery, but Nate Dixon only a sophomore. You could see why they like him so much. Under 8 minutes to play in this second home game of the season for the Red Raiders. 2 receivers near side.
Oh my gosh. What a play by Colby Barrett.
He broke on the football and said,
did.
you know what, I'm going to win this battle.
He played that tonight. He saw that on tape this week, read it, and took advantage of it. That was either an interception or a touchdown.
Yeah. There's going to be a big play one way or the other.
Yes.
Second interception of the night for the Red Raider defense. One on the first offensive play of the game for Gray Collegiate. That was big at the time. Now, as you see, it's a 42-7 lead for the top-ranked team in the state of Tennessee. Baylor and Macaulay 1-2 in the state. Not only in Division II 3A, but in the Max Preps poll of all the high school football teams in the state of Tennessee, Baylor and Macaulay are 1-2. And last time we heard across town, Macaulay was trailing by a pretty good margin to a team from Florida. 6.5 to play. Again, I would say at this point, both teams, neither team upset about seeing that clock run.
No.
So next week, as I said, third state will be represented on the Baylor schedule, and so far none of them have been Tennessee. Whew. Hello.
Ouch. We may have a face mask here.
Yeah. Baylor, of course, opened the season. Raven Gap from Georgia. This team from South Carolina. Coconut Creek next week.
Ethan Razor got there with some bad intentions for
Yeah.
the War Eagles. Let's see the call here. Yep, personal foul, face mask. Checking in, number 11, Cosmo DiMatteo.
Dad on the coaching staff. Cos, of course, played quarterback for the Mocs.
Legendary player for the Mocs.
Played everything for the Mocs, I should say. One of the things I enjoy so much about Baylor football, Cos DiMatteo.
Absolutely. What a start to the season. Red Raiders about to finish 2-0. Both wins at home. Tough come from behind win in week 1.
I just think that second half last week.
Mercy rule in week 2. Everybody gets to play.
Yeah.
A lot of positive to build on.
No question. Yeah, there should be smiles on that Red Raider sideline. Jack Ferguson.
Jack Ferguson. Nice run there.
Coconut Creek next week, like I said. Third straight home game, then at Lipscomb. Lipscomb, one of those teams ranked in the state of Tennessee. Some of those Lipscomb guys that you and I saw last year, I'm going to see them tomorrow afternoon.
Yes.
Some of them are the Spillman, the linebacker,
Defensive back.
and Caleb Beasley that we saw last year for
Yes.
Lipscomb. Both those guys are on the depth chart for Tennessee tomorrow against the Mocs. That's a game I think that Josh Heupel was at a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, to see some of his signees, recruits at the time. They're playing tomorrow in game number 1. Under 3 minutes left to play.
Yep. Illegal motion.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens sometimes.
Trying to use as much of the clock as they can.
Number 11, Cosmo DiMatteo, is now in at quarterback for Baylor. Another question.
5-yard penalty back to the 40. After the penalty, second down and long. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide for Jack Ferguson.
That's number 55,
Yeah.
Traquan Mo Singleton.
I think Jack Ferguson gave up about 120 pounds right there in that battle. What do you think?
6'3" and at least 275.
I was going to say,
At least.
what do you think Jack Ferguson's at?
Less than 275.
Take the under. You're taking the under on that one. Which side of the teeter-totter would be at the bottom? I got you, brother.
He's not moving the seesaw on that one.
Third down and long with under 2 minutes to play in the game. Pass complete. but not enough for a first.
Another freshman, Beckham Stokes, with the
There you
catch
go.
there.
Makes a reception. So we approach the 60-second mark. Left to play in the football game. Red Raiders got off to a great start in this one, and as we said, what do you want to do? You make sure it's not in doubt in the fourth quarter, and it was not. Baylor scores 21 points in the first, 7 points in the second quarter, 14 in the third.
Depending on let's see what the call is here. Cosmo DiMatteo draws him off sides with a hard count.
There you go. And my buddy Mark Thacker made that call. Good job, Mark. 10 seconds left. No need to snap the football one more time. And so the Red Raiders will improve to 2-0 on the year. And the celebration will begin here at Haywood Stadium. Nice come from behind win last week. Like I said, I thought they took so many steps forward in that second half a week ago in the heat against a really good football team. Supposed to win this week, come out and get the job done with 21 first quarter points. It was 21-0 after a quarter of play.
And Jim, I would say maybe this isn't as close as last week, but maybe better execution, which is what you want to see.
Did a lot of things well. Get the football in the hands of your playmakers, and they certainly did, especially in the first half. When you could get Dotson and Sparks involved, sit back and relax and watch them perform because they do it pretty darn well. Enjoying a little post-game celebration. Which includes the great tradition, singing the alma mater.
(42-7) the final score. Plenty of highlights in this one. Well, we get it started through the air. Brooks Cherry to Cam Sparks. 21-yard pass, 7-0 Baylor. Defense gets to show up and show out. Cody Barrett, the first of his 2 interceptions on the night. That would set the Red Raiders back up at their own 40-yard line, and they go right back to work. Briggs Cherry again to Joakim Dotson. Great hands in the corner of the end zone. 3 plays, 43 yards. That makes it 14-0. And the Red Raiders are not done. Nice pass here to Joakim Dotson. He turns it up for a very solid gain. The deuce was loose on that one. And then they get number 0 in action. David Gabriel Georges inside the 20-yard line. Briggs Cherry looks to his right, throws to his left. Dotson there again. Number 9 with the touchdown. And in the second quarter,
Here's my ridiculous play of the night.
this is the play of the night. Briggs Cherry floats it to Cam Sparks, absolutely wide open. Makes a left turn and heads for the end zone. It really shouldn't have been that easy. 11 plays, 80 yards, 21-7. Time for the defense to show up. Pressure, Joel Lowenberg. We saw this a couple of times tonight. Number 4 with the sack. And then Shakai Mills-Knight in the third quarter starts to shut it down. 30 yards on the touchdown. That makes it 35-7. And then how about this on special teams? Tyler Rice. Watch this catch, folks. Hit, takes it off the pad of his opponent. Goes to his right, cuts up field, turns it up. This would set up another touchdown for the Red Raiders. Fantastic night. They would also close out with another interception by Colby Barrett. Shakai will go 6 yards right here to make it 42-7 and ignite the mercy rule. It's a W for the Red Raiders. They're now 2-0. 42-7 is the final.
So Sparks scored 2, Dotson scored 2, Shakai Mills-Knight scored 2. That's a good night. Everyone's happy, right?
Absolutely.
Nice win for the Red Raiders, now 2-0 for the year. A nice come from behind. Close victory last week over Rayburn Gap, 21-14, and now the victory here tonight. We'll be back next week. Coconut Creek out of Florida. A nice win for the Red Raiders. Congratulations to all the Baylor fans. Baylor team 42-7. Red Raiders on top.